Where do they even begin? What should they be doing or discussing first in that initial stage of building an event?
I love to talk about this part because, again, it gets back to a methodology. And because so many people start and go, I wonder how we do this, having a map that works time and time again really helps. And so the first three essentials are where you start. Success metrics. And a lot of people will say, well, we know our goals. We get our goals. That's great. But normally people don't really drill down into them. So the first thing I would say for a brand is, you've got to know your success metrics, which are 4 parts. Your goals, great. Most people are like, I know that. The tactics to achieve those goals at and within an event or an event horizon. And then the outcomes you assume are going to result out of that. And the measurements, how are you going to measure those outcomes? So we call it GOT'em for short: goals, outcomes, tactics, measurements.
I like that.
And you start there. And then the very second thing you do, and oddly, this is missed more than you'd think, is audience mix. Again, a lot of people say, we know who we want to come, but just like goals, they don't really dig down into the parts that matter. With audience, the critical piece there is, in what ratio do the audience participants and the categories you have to show up to your event in order to make it worthwhile? That's where it all falls apart. And that's also why, we could talk about this later, but that's also why I don't buy into cost per attendee metrics, because attendees are not equal to a business entity or even a foundation entity. So if you don't parse your audiences and look at their personas, the value to the organization or the company, the value you're going to give them, then you're going to miss and create an event that has no meaning for your business or your attendees. And then the third one is content mapping, which is crazy. If folks out there take my online courses, they'll hear me say it. You can map content for any conference, even if you're not a subject matter expert, if you do those first 2 steps. Success metrics and audience mix analysis will tell you the types and the amount of content you need to have to serve both of those goals. And it works like a charm. And those are the first 3 steps.